And another reason why it wouldn't work is because we was on video call, so it couldn't have two-way interference, I guess. But were we invaded on Bill Maher and Keith Olberman? Um, basically, do you read the Salon at all?
Heard of the Salon, but haven't really read it, much.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
I
basic.
basically watch more news than read more news. So busy reading stuff for class.
Okay,
I read a little more news when I'm on break.
exactly. Smart man. Okay, so this report is from the Salon. D. Holmes and the smartest, brightest, Tim Gandy. There's a Salon report where they just posted the 21st, obviously today, Saturday, and Keith Olbermann was on. He was on with Bill Maher, and I mean it was just all around interesting. So you have to catch up with that, Tim, and take a look at that video. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Bill Maher around in a while, but I need to see what he's saying.
Oh, I always watch him on HBO, and hours at.
Yeah, I don't have HBO unfortunately.
But
I
you,
used to
but,
have it,
but you
but
have YouTube.
yeah.
You have YouTube.
Oh, you see it? Okay.
Yep. Hours after President Trump was inaugurated, Keith Olbermann was on the road time with Bill Maher, insisting that the president was a product of a Russian plot specifically designed to ensure that he won the election. And the point of the war, other than to gain territory, is to put the guy you want in charge of somebody else's country, Olbermann said, standing up and standing up for Representative John Lewis. Um, his remarks that Trump was not a legitimate president. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that Keith Olbermann and John Lewis, they're basically upset with the election, and that's understandable. Um, Trump is probably a proper president in regard to the legal portion of it. I mean, he was elected, and that he won the electoral college. Can't really, you know,
Dispute that.
do that, but with him, so I can't really say that he's illegitimate exactly in that way because it was legal, of course, um, but the tap sheet, I can see how that is illegitimate and not proper. I mean, the
Absolutely.
interference, but that's
Absolutely.
definitely an issue. And it is definitely wrong for Trump to say that it's not an issue when it
Mm-hmm.
clearly, you know.
Exactly. Keith Overman's full remarks. He basically said the in its partial entirety, I think we're underselling how the non-legitimately part of this worked, how part of this worked. I spoke to a group of Democrats and liberals last night in Florida, and half of them were like, this crowd fired up, and of course, understanding. We were invaded, is what it boils down to. Just because there is not blood on the streets, if the Russians had come in with Kazakhs, Kazakhs, and put him in, I think we would have had a different kind of reaction. That's the reaction we need now. What I saw last night was a lot of people hooting and hollering correctly and also getting fired up. And other people thinking, you really think it's that serious? Yes, I do. I do think it's that serious. The point of the war, other than to gain territory, is to put the guy you want in charge of somebody else's country. And we're not only debating at this point, after the story in the New York Times Thursday, how much the Russians decided our election. So, I mean, that's his partial statement, and it's it's you really can't argue with it. It's pointed. It's really specific, and the details that the American people have most recently seen with the intelligence community releasing information is valid. What do you think?
Yeah, and I definitely agree with John Lewis and Keith Olbermann that we were invaded, of course, and if we were invaded in a physical way, as opposed to a cyber way,
Mm-hmm.
it would be perceived, much differently.
Yeah,
But that's a
exactly.
very sharp, very sharp, very thought-provoking comparison that they were.
Well, I agree, but I also will say this: if we were invaded, uh, if we were invaded, um, if we were invaded um, by the internet, it's just as significant if we were actually invaded on foot, if you will. And so it's extremely important, however you look
Oh
at it.
yeah, yeah, it is extremely important either way. It's just that people interpret it differently, opposed to how it's done. Like
Mm-hmm.
if it was done in a physical way, people would have interpreted it in a more serious fashion. Now you're right that it is just as serious. It's just that it doesn't really register for people unless it's really real. I mean, it has to be real for people to really be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's happening in cyberspace, that kind of like removes the real aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not as close to you. It feels
Exactly.
it actually feels more distant if it just happens in cyberspace.
Exactly. And so, as Keith Oberman says, uh, he and Bill Maher both agree that we were invaded.